So with the middle layer, I just have to bear in mind this stripe here and this stripe here. Now the last layer, just to go through with this, what we're looking at is we want to flip all of the blue ones, or all the proper edges in the proper perspective. What this algorithm is going to do is, this is going to stay exactly where it is. This is going to slide over here and flip, actually. This is going to slide over here but not flip, and this is going to come over here and flip. So this will end up upside down, this will end up right side up, and this will end up upside down, so I'll have a line over here. And that's F, R, U, R, I, U, I, F, I. So the next time we do that, this will slide over here and be right side up, this will flip over here and be right side up, and this will flip over here and be right side up. F, R, U, R, I, U, I, F, I. So this is all fine. Now we have to put them at the proper center, and I'm looking for 2 that are in. So I just keep sliding this around until I see 2. I don't yet. These 2 are in. Move it to the right and to the back and go R, U, R, I, U, R, 2, U, R, I, and move that in. So we have all of our cross at the top, and then as you recall from beginner's method, if you've seen it before, you try to find the right corners. Find the one corner that's in. If they're all not in, hold it to the right and do U, R, U, I, L, I, U, R, I, U, I, L. See if they're all in. Not yet. Do it again. Turn and turn. So if this is in and this is in, the rest are. Hold it over here and just keep wheeling it around, doing R, I, D, I, R, D until these flip where they're supposed to be. R, I, D, I, R, D, R, I, D, I, R, D. And you keep doing this. D. Remember to do that D at the end. Move it here. Now with each of these tutorials, I go through this again and again, just in case you didn't see the others. R, I, D, I, R, D, and we are finally done. Okay, so we'll pick it up with this. We see that we have 1 here that's rotated correctly, and 3, and 3 that are wrong. So this is rotated here wrong. This actually has to come into here, so I forgot to do one of them. So U, I, L, I, U, L, U, here, here, and here. Okay, so now we'll see what we have. We have our line over here. So we're going to do that same algorithm, which will keep this the same. This will flip, this will slide, and this will flip. And that's F, R, U, R, I, U, I, F, I. Now that I have the cross here, what I'm going to do is find 2 that are in. Well, that's not going to be hard because this is in. I'll just say this is in. So all I got to do is turn it over here where I have 1 to the right and 1 to the back, and just do R, U, R, I, U, R, 2, U, R, I, and now we just move this to their respective centers. This is good, and we're going to say that these 2 are good. Now, do we have any corners that are in? Well, I've got this red one, but it's the wrong one. How do I know that? Because with this lined up, this is coming up. So I know that this is wrong. How about over here? Nope, this can't be the correct orange because when it's facing this way, this orange is not where it's supposed to be. So none of these are where they need to be. So I'll go like U, R, U, I, L, I, U, R, I, U, I, L. This isn't where it's supposed to be because with this pointing out, this is rotated wrong. It would appear that this is correct and this is correct. We have 2 edges that are correct, 2 corners that are correct. Well, how can that be? We must have these centers wrong because if these centers were correct, these corners would be correct. So that has to be wrong. The reason why that's wrong is because these 2 must be flipped. I need to flip these guys. So what I'm going to do actually is do my RU, RU, R2U, RI to try to get them back. I made an assumption that one was right and the one just next to it was right, but actually it wasn't. So what I'm going to do is I need to get this green and yellow one over here in order to call this correct. Because as it is, because these corners don't line up, it's kind of like a parity. So I'm going to hold it over here and do the algorithm which will keep this the same, rotate these edges until this one is going to appear over here. R, U, R, I, U, R, 2U, R, I. That's fine here, this is fine here. So now I'm going to hold this to the right, this to the back, and do the same algorithm. RU, RIU, R to U, RI. Move this in. So now it should be good. And now we can take a look. This is correct. This is not correct, not correct, and not correct. So I once again just have one in. Turn it over here. U, R, UI, LI, U, RI, UI, L. This is correct. This is correct. Therefore, these must be correct. So I'm going to hold it here and do RIDI, RD until this is in. RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD. Turn it over here. RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD. Bring this in. RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD. And we're good. The purpose of doing the 3x3 solve is to get it back to its native cuboid shape. So you can see that our 3x3 version, here it is actually solved. This is done. All we have left are these cross cubes. We just have to do a 3x3x2 solve. These two will only scramble with each other now. They did scramble down here when I shape-shifted, but we're not going to shape-shift it anymore. We're going to solve it just like this, a 3x3x2. So to solve the top and the bottom is solving it just like a 3x3x2. So to do that, we start off by putting the centers in, rather the edges to the proper center. So I'm going to just wind this over to here. Next, this is already in place. Well, no, not exactly. This has to go opposite the red. Bring it down here. Turn it here and bring it up. This layer is actually not too difficult here. So this is good. This is good. Does this belong here? As you can see, it doesn't match up with this. So actually, this orange belongs over here, and this green one belongs over here. So turn and turn and turn. Okay, now it's just a matter of getting corners in. These corners are not put in appropriately, so I'm just going to go like this. And then it's a matter of doing our to our U, to our UI, to R. Move this in over here. This will come down to the proper corner here. Line this up between the green and red. To our U, to our UI, to R. Piece of cake. This will go to its proper place here. To our U, to our UI, to R. And this little guy will come over here. To our U, to our UI, to R. Okay. Bottom is done here. This is pretty simple. It's a matter of finding the corners, putting the corners in. If you have no corners that are in other words, two corners that are solved, like another red here and a red here, just hold it here and do an adjacent corner swap to our U, to our UI, to R. Turn over here, counterclockwise to our UI, to our U, to R. This will put one set of corners in. Put that to the left, do the same corner swap to our U, to our UI, to R, turn, to R, UI, to R, U, to R. And now we have edges, an adjacent edge swap to R, U, to R, U, to R, to U, to R, to U, to R, U, to R, UI, to R. Now this is your basic cuboid solve. The basic cuboid solve can be applied to this and to the top and to the bottom. So just to finish this solve over here, same thing, here's the white. I'm going to match up the centers here. This belongs here. I'm looking for the white and red, which is over here. So move this up, turn it in, move it down. There it is here. Green, white and green, move it up, turn it in, move it down. And now the last white, move that in over here. So I use the same algorithm, but now I have to bear in mind that every time I do a corner switch, I'm going to cause placement parity over here. So for instance, here's a yellow and blue, orange and blue rather. This belongs down here. To our U, to our UI, to R. This is in creating placement parity here. So I'm going to keep this to my right, move this in green and red. Here's the green and red side here. To our U, to our UI, to R. It puts this back. So now I keep going. Red and blue here, to our U, to our UI, to R. This is the last one. Line the last one here, to our U, to our UI, to R. And that's in. Same thing here, find two corners that are in. We happen to have one over here. Move it to the left and do an adjacent corner swap. To our U, to our UI, to R, ui di, 2r ui, 2r u, 2r, put this in here, and now we just have edge swaps. Over here, I can do an opposite edge swap to put this where it belongs over here. 2r to u, 2r to u, 2r to u. And now we swap these two, getting this back. Okay, so that's how you solve the 3x3x5. 3x3x4 is just two dominoes. Basically, 3x3x2 and a 3x3x2 over here. So here's red. Right across from red is going to be a yellow, an orange rather. So find an orange, move it in. This is going to be a green because, well, if this flips, actually this will be a blue, and this will be a green. So now we just take from this side. This is the only side that's scrambled with this. So I'm going to do corner swaps just from here to here. So red and blue, 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. Move over to here. I'm looking for blue and orange. Right over here, 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. Simple domino stuff. 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. This side, oh, almost done. 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. This side is done over here. Now I'm looking for two corners that are in, these two. Move it to here, corner swap. 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. Turn the whole puzzle. 2r ui, 2r u, 2r. All the corners are in. Now it's edges. Adjacent edge swap, 2r u, 2r u, 2r to u, 2r to u, 2r u, 2r ui, 2r, and adjacent edge swap, same thing. 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. So we have this 3x3x2. Now I just do these over here as well. Orange, yellow rather. This center is here just fine. The center is here as well. So I'm going to put this one in place. Yellow, orange comes to here rather. Turn, turn, turn. And finally, this comes into place here and turn. Now it's just a matter of doing the domino techniques over here. This comes down to here. 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. Now remember, you still have placement parity that you find over here too. So I keep it in this position. Move the next one in place, which is this guy over here. 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. And that gets that out. I got to move one of these up to bring it into here. 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. And then move it into the proper place. Blue and orange, 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. Moving fast because it's the same techniques. Now this. Now I've got this in, but I end up with placement issues here. I'm going to let that go for now because I might be able to get it in by doing edge swapping. Two corners are in here. I'm going to keep this to the side. Adjacent corner swap, 2r u, 2r ui, 2r. Now I go ui di because I'm scrambling with these two sides. 2r ui, 2r u, 2r. This moves back. So now all my edges are in. Now it's a question of just doing edge swaps. Adjacent edge swaps, and that'll get this back here. 2r to u, 2r to u, 2r to u. And you're done. Now with this solve, it might not have turned out that way. It might have turned out like this. You may find yourself in a situation where you have two to swap here, and you're going to end up with placement parity over here. I can't just swap two without swapping these two. So you're going to find yourself in that situation. If that happens, go ahead and swap these. 2r to u, 2r to u, 2r to u. You're going to see placement parity here, but it's not really parity because it's not just one swap that I'm doing. I can actually swap these two. So it's going to be 1, 2. And we just do that algorithm holding it to the left and to the right. We split it below, right in the center where that placement parity is. For our first u, and then the second u, we're going to split on the top. That's going to be 2u, 2r, 2f, 2u, and then split it at the top just above it, 2u, and then 2f, 2r, 2u. And it's done. We could have potentially had this, but the way that I solved it, you won't get that kind of parity over here. You won't get that kind of parity because as you're putting these in, you simply can't have all of these three that are out, because you have to have an even number in order for that to work. If these three are out, then you'd have 1, 2, 3 swaps, and it just won't work. So this is how to avoid that. So that's how to do a 3 by 3 by 5. Next, we're going to tackle how that correlates to this handsome double over here, the 3 by 3 by 5 I cube. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.